Welcome to the Art of Listening to Your Body podcast. My name is Jin Ong and I'm your host. I practice as an osteopath and psychosomatic therapist and am fascinated by the mind-body connection and how your physical body is a manifestation of your emotional state. I help people get unstuck from their chronic pain and live the life they want, grounded in values and driven by purpose. My aim is to create awareness to the underlying emotions behind pain, injury, and disease in the body. Join me to learn more about the story of your body, what different issues may indicate, how to release emotions so that you can prevent problems, as well as inspiring pain story interviews. All right, let's go through the jaw as the body part today and talk about the emotions that manifest behind jaw issues, also known as TMJ problems, which stands for temporomandibular joint. So the jaw joint lies just in front of your ears. And on an anatomical level, it is quite intimately connected with the base of your skull. So quite often people feel discomfort in their jaw and they also feel tension under the base of their skull. This can be when they're talking or maybe when they're having to speak loud, say in a bar or a cafe, and strain and raise their voice. They might feel tension in their jaw and also discomfort at the base of their skull. The other things that can manifest with jaw problems is a clicking jaw and also grinding of the teeth, which is known as bruxism. Now, the clicking of the jaw is because it's a joint and it has a little disc known as an articular disc in there, and it should move a certain way, but sometimes it shifts and it clicks in and out of place, which is sometimes a term that I don't like to use because mentally, when people feel like things are moving out of place, that it's all going horribly wrong. However, it doesn't move as smoothly, and that's what causes the click. And I find that a lot of people get obsessed with the click and they like to check it and see if it's still there. They stretch their mouth open, and actually it aggravates the problem. So whenever there are jaw issues with a clicky jaw, I try not to bring people's attention to it and not to judge how they're improving based on whether or not their jaw is clicking or not. It's important that the jaw functions, that you can eat, it doesn't lock, and it doesn't cause you pain. And quite often the clicking will just resolve over time, particularly if you stop fiddling with it and testing it out. The other problem that people can get with their jaw is lockjaw. So they might open their jaw and they can't close it again, or they find that they can't quite clench their teeth together and they feel that block in the jaw. And again, this is because of the mechanics of the disc that is in the jaw joint. There's also muscles that control the jaw and also nerves to consider. However, most of the time, people will come in presenting with a mixture of just jaw pain, clicking jaw, or they might have headaches as well that are actually coming from their jaw. So if you're someone who has headaches and you've had it treated over and over again and no one stuck their fingers inside your jaw, you probably want to start looking here. Or again, just checking in when you get stressed or when you think about somebody who stresses you out, what does your jaw do? A lot of people bite down on their molars and clench their teeth. In terms of grinding teeth or bruxism, this often happens at nighttime, and you can wake up with a sore and achy jaw because you've been working those muscles hard when they actually should be relaxing. If you have a partner in bed, or even if that person with bruxism or a grinding jaw sleeps in a room next to you, it's kind of like scraping nails down a blackboard. It's a pretty horrible sound. very chalky, and just the thought of people grinding away their teeth. It's not great, and you do want to try and stop this. For kids that grind their teeth at nighttime, that can sometimes be a sign of intestinal worms. They just get in sand pits, they play with pets, they stick their dirty fingernails in their mouth, and it's quite common for kids to get worms, and they will often present pretty irritable as well. So it's always a good idea to just consider this. When people are getting into teens and adulthood with jaw discomfort, on the emotional level, I will always ask them, how are their stress levels? Now, most people think that stress is felt in the head, but for some people, it manifests in the body, and mentally, you actually feel okay. So again, that's where matching up when you're feeling the tension in your jaw is have a think about what's just happened. What's the situation you've just been in? Who is it that you've just been talking to? What have you been thinking about? So stress is huge, especially with that grinding of teeth at nighttime. Usually nighttime is when our body processes information, it rests, it digests, it repairs, and it's also when we process emotions if we don't have an opportunity to express it during the day. So it may be that the only opportunity that the stress has to come out is at nighttime, and it comes out with that physical grinding of the teeth or clenching of the jaw. Now, a lot of people, when they think of jaw problems, they'll go to the dentist, which is always good to check out and rule out that nothing else is happening. Typically, I find a dentist will give a splint to protect the teeth or put a guard over it. And some people just spit the guard out overnight, and other people will chew through it. They grind their teeth that bad. Sometimes it does work. I believe the theory is that you pop something foreign into the mouth or into your body, and it just disrupts the normal patterns. However, because I noticed that jaw issues normally are emotionally connected and stress related, I think it's important to give that quick fix to protect the teeth, but address the cause. If you are holding lots of tension, as the muscles get tighter and tighter, that's when you can start to get headaches. So it's just helping you look at the bigger picture. Then when I go a little bit deeper to talk to people about their stress, I'll explain what the jaw represents. So I've covered chakras and the different parts of the body and what emotions are governed by these chakras. The jaw is linked with your solar plexus. So the main center for the solar plexus is around the abdominal area, and it governs emotions around confidence, trust, self-esteem, power, authority, and identity. And the jaw, it moves when we have to speak up. So the jaw is really about who are you not speaking up to? What are you not saying? Why are you holding it back? So what is it that you find it hard to put the words behind and express? Perhaps to that person you're having an argument with. It could be your partner, it could be a family member, it could be the work situation where you feel like you can't speak up. So that's what I would consider if you have got jaw issues, to think about stress, but then think about the situations that you have found yourself in and see if you can make that connection. The other thing to try and remedy this, physical treatment is one aspect, which I'll go into in a minute, but I talked about getting emotions out and a way to process emotions on a previous podcast. It was called verbal dialogue. So you may not feel comfortable speaking up to the person you have issues with, but it's really important that you don't store this stress in your body. So one way that you can help release just general tension and stored emotions in your body, but especially tension in the jaw, if you're not speaking up, is to just have a rant and a rave to yourself. So imagine that person that you have issues is in front of you and just say whatever you want. Get all the nasties out. say what you want, get all the emotion, have a yell, whatever. And it can really help shift this energy. And then just check in and see how your body is feeling. On a physical level, I feel it's really important that if you seek treatment for jaw problems, is that someone is looking at your whole body, down to your pelvis and into your feet. They don't need to spend the whole time here, but just to check if any issues are tracking up into the body. And then in particular, looking at the neck because of that anatomical and neurological connection to the jaw and especially the base of the skull. The front of the neck, you've got these little muscles at the front that help rotate your head side to side. When these get tight, you can pinch them, kind of like pinching neck fat, but there is actually a muscle there. You can often feel the discomfort go into the jaw. And then what's really important is that you have a practitioner who is comfortable putting their fingers in your mouth with a glove on. But it's getting up into what's called the pterygoid muscles and the masseter muscles, which often will work hard if there's jaw dysfunction, especially if you're overworking them with clenching. And to describe this, if you can get a picture, is usually the finger has to go up between the side of the cheek and the molars, right up towards the back. And you can do this yourself. Hopefully you get it right with this description, is you get your opposite finger. So say you want to get into your left jaw, you get your right index finger and you poke it up into the back of your jaw and poke it towards your left eye. Now, it's not a typical nice muscular ache. It's usually a sharp, almost tearing sensation, but that means you're on the right spot. And you might need to make loads of sound when someone's got their finger in there. Often it's hard for you to inflict as much discomfort on yourself as having somebody else do it on you. So I do suggest getting an experienced practitioner to do this with you. And it's quite normal to feel a lot of heat in your face. So the solar plexus is also related to the emotion of anger. And so anger is associated with heat. So I notice people's face goes really red. They clench their bum cheeks, so encouraging them to relax when they're having this work done. And it's normal for the eye to water as well. It's just because of an association with what's called the lacrimal gland. But it can also trigger just an outburst of crying and tears. And again, you want to be with a practitioner who's comfortable with this and doesn't just take their finger out of your mouth, because they've hit that trigger where the emotions are stored, and often it's the tears that need to come out. So usually having the internal jaw release is quite uncomfortable, but as things ease up and as you do the emotional work and as you start to speak up, then you will find that the tissues start to feel easier with that internal work. So those are my recommendations for getting your jaw looked at. I'm not against splints, but again, you need to look at what the deeper reason is. And if you don't want the issue to keep coming back, then looking into the emotional cause, where you hold back your words or hold back your tongue and don't speak up or stand up for yourself, and look at embracing more of that just in small bites. Try and speak up for yourself. Just test out how it goes. And if you are the type of person who's getting chronic headaches that are related to your jaw, most of the time these headaches will present around the eye and in the front of the face. And when someone or a practitioner pokes their finger into your jaw and hits those right muscles, you'll feel it trigger the headache. And so the headache source is actually from your jaw and then from the stress and the emotions. So hopefully that helps those of you with jaw issues to think a little bit wider and give you some solutions and avenues that you can look down. And if you've got any questions, just reach out and send me a message. Just a heads up that I am running my live webinar this Thursday, 17th of September at 7 p.m. New Zealand time. This is going to be about my upcoming emotional body training, which I'm running for another round after huge success with the first group. And this is for health and wellness practitioners, coaches, and trainers who are working with clients, and perhaps you're getting a little bit stuck with your clients. Your skills and techniques that you've learnt aren't working, and you know that there is a deeper emotional tie that holds your clients back and keeps them in their current chronic pain, their injuries that won't heal, or maybe even their illness and disease states that they're trying to work through. So the training is online. You get access to a huge range of resources that teaches you about the different emotions behind different body parts, the chakra system, quite simplified to understand what areas of the body govern which emotions, and how to understand to work with different body types and personalities and prescribe accordingly. And then the biggest part of this is the live coaching, where you really get to learn how to communicate this work with your clients. One of my biggest frustrations is that a lot of practitioners are great at identifying stress as one of the causes or triggers for people's physical state, but then they don't know what the hell to do with it, what to tell their clients to do, and how to help them release this. So we go through different forms of emotional release and practical techniques that you will get to use on yourself so that you go through some of the discomfort and experience the changes, and techniques that you can then prescribe to your clients. So this is the next round of emotional body training. It will start on October 8th. Places are limited to make sure that everybody gets the attention that they need. You do need to be a practitioner, a coach, or a trainer, ideally seeing clients. I will open up a couple of spaces to people who are on the start of their journey or heading towards being a therapist, a coach, or a trainer. However, the case studies is where the interest is, and every week we meet up. I coach you, I give you input. There's a Facebook group to support you as well, and you have an opportunity to work through your own stuff, because remember, you have to take yourself through discomfort before you can get your clients to do this. It's an experiential learning, huge changes with the last group, which I'm going to be sharing on the Thursday, and that's when all of the sales page will be launched as well. So you need to sign up for this. The link is theartoflisteningtoyourbody.com/emotional-body, and I'll pop the link in the notes and hope to see you there. Thanks for learning with me on the Art of Listening to Your Body podcast. If you like what you've heard, I would love if you could rate, review, and share with your friends. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram. My handle is The Art of Listening to Your Body. You can join my free Facebook group where I go live regularly to teach you about different conditions and the deeper underlying emotions at play.